Hey everyone, Irit here with another December daily video. Today I want to show you how you can add some bling to your December daily or any project that you want. And I am going to use foil. Now the problem with foil is that I feel sometimes it's like finicky and you need certain products. However, you can get really beautiful effects, and you can get also messy with it, which is probably how I prefer to use it if possible. So I'm just going to show you a few fun ways to play with foil, talk about the products and everything. I'm not an expert, but I have had some good results and then some disasters. So let's get to it. First thing I want to do is spray some of this reactive mist. This is from Heidi Swapp. I have no idea if anyone else makes this, but I bought this a few years ago and I used it a few times and it worked really well. However, I couldn't get it to work straight out of the tube. I mean, it did spray, but this liquid is kind of thick, so it just made this really ugly blob of paint, and I wanted that sprayed effect. So what I did is I took a mini mister and I put this thing with a little bit of water to get the right consistency. I didn't know if it was going to work, but since I really couldn't use this as it was, I thought I had nothing to lose, and it actually worked really well. So this has been sitting for a couple of years. I hope it will be okay. I did print some extra copies of my photos. So I have this photo strip that I printed and it has the same photos that I'm going to spray. So I'm kind of not being too fussy about it. And I feel like, you know, these two they're not the same, but they're kind of similar in concept. So I'm gonna try and do the spray thing with one of them. I think probably this one because it's darker, so I think it'll give me more contrast with, I'll probably use gold foil. You don't see anything when you just put it on. So let's just do that. It has to completely dry until you can run it through your laminator. And also I took a piece of paper from my December daily, and I also want to spray that. Now, of course, you can use a stencil. And thinking about it, I might do that with this, but for these, I just want a cute, like, sprayed effect. So let's the true test. If it's not working, it's really probably my fault because I haven't used this in ages. Okay, so the mini mister was clogged. I don't know about you, I love the mini misters, but at some point some of them just stopped working for me. I guess they get clogged or something, and yeah, and then they're a bit useless. So if you have any tips on that. Yeah, so I put the Heidi Swapp thing here and I added a little bit of water. I don't remember the ratio that I used last time, so I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but we're just gonna go with it. So I sprayed a little here. I don't know, let's just go all wild. This photo is kind of like I would say like an atmosphere photo. I think maybe I used a bit too much water, but we'll see. And then here I'll just cover our faces and kind of go for like a sprayed effect on the edges. Okay, no idea how that'll work. And then I can also add maybe some sprinkling if I wanted. Again, I don't want to get faces. Don't want a blob of foil on someone's face. Ah! And of course I spilled it. Well, that was kind of obvious. And did I get Barbara? No, I think. Okay, so let's hope. Again, this is, I think it's okay. So I'm switching to fast forward just because it's faster and less boring. So the next thing I did was to spray this, and this was a huge fail. The reason is it's not the spray. Even though I did add too much water, I should probably go back and just add a bit more of the mink fluid. It's because, I think, because my paper is very, very absorbed. It absorbs a lot of, it's very porous. And so it basically absorbed, oh my goodness, all of the mist, and so the foil didn't stick. And here is actually another product that I'm ashamed to say I bought this tube and actually never used, but I'll definitely be using it because, spoiler alert, this is probably my favorite page, the best result that I got from this whole session. So this is a reactive paint, and basically you use it, you let it completely dry, be patient, wait, and then you just run it through your laminator with the foil. Now, this is another Heidi Swapp product. I will link to everything that I can find below. I don't know what other products are out there. I know that I was really excited when Heidi Swapp came out with these mists and paints, and she also has a screen ink, which I can't remember if I've used. I only have like a couple of screens that I can use. They're like these very detailed stencils. I was really happy when she came out with it because I really love the painterly look and I love mixed media, and I figured these products would kind of work better for me than some of the other ones. For example, this one that I'm using now, it's again a product from Heidi Swapp. I just have a stash of a bunch of stuff that I picked up on sale probably 2 or 3 years ago and only used like a very small amount of. And I figured something like a December daily would be a great opportunity to use them, because it's the holiday season and everything is shiny and pretty. Not that I need an excuse to use bling in my creations or journals, but I thought I can go probably a little bit over the top and get away with it because it's the holiday season. So let's talk a little bit about the machine I'm using. I don't have a Mink machine. After watching a lot of reviews and considering getting it when foil was all the rage, I decided to pick up a laminator from Amazon, which cost probably, I don't know, a third, a quarter or something from the larger Mink machine. And this won't fit a 12 by 12, which, it was something that I was considering when I was doing 12 by 12 scrapbooking, but this will fit, I think, an A4 size. And for my current needs, it works perfectly. And it's not as pretty as the Mink, but it really does the job. So she came out with a bunch of these products, butterflies and flowers that I have there that I'm actually not going to foil in this section, but the butterflies turned out really nice. She had these pattern papers. The point is that you need toner to react with the foil. So if you have a laser printer at home, you could basically print out any pattern or, letters or whatever you want with toner and then use foil with it and it will work, which, I should actually try it because when I bought the stuff, we didn't have a laser printer at home, but now we do. So maybe I should, I don't know, for example, you could take some of your artwork or maybe like vintage papers that you have. Barbara, I'm thinking of you. Hopefully you're watching. And you could, turn it to grayscale or black and white or whatever and print it with a toner, like laser printer, and then run it through your laminator with foil. So actually, now that I'm saying it, I really want to try it with some of my artwork. I might do that. And here we see the fail. So this was actually the first thing that I did. And then I thought, okay, the spray didn't work. But no, it wasn't the spray that I, what do you say? What's the word that I added water to? It wasn't the spray. It was the paper. So the foil works best with kind of glossy surfaces that, the ink or whatever doesn't have room to, it can't like be absorbed into the paper. So you need it to stay on the surface. And again, with the spray, if I didn't mention it, you want to wait until it's completely dry. I didn't, of course. And then it gets a little bit messed up. So I don't have any of the folders. Again, I think Heidi Swapp has all kinds of folders. I'm just using baking paper. I'm not sure how you call it in the States, maybe parchment paper, the stuff you can put in your oven and very high heat will not damage it. So that's what I'm using. That's my folder. And yeah, so I'm using also the pattern papers that I had from Heidi Swapp. These are basically papers with pattern in toner, and then you can use whichever foil you want. And that's kind of the nice thing, I think. Or like one of the fun things about this whole thing, that you can kind of use whichever color of foil that you want. So you can kind of customize it. So I use those, I use the butterflies, and then I use the spray. And now what I'm using are these toner sheets. So these, I think mine are for ThermoWeb. I know ThermoWeb make a ton of foil products. So it's just like toner sheets. You could probably make some at home. I haven't tried, but I have these, so I want to use them. And basically the whole thing will just react with foil. So the way I like to use it, you can see, is with all my leftovers from foiling things that had a pattern. And then you get these really cool effects. And this is probably where I got excited about the whole thing, because I really love that kind of messy look. And, I feel it's really like personal, or personalized or customized, because it's a unique pattern that only I have. So, which I like. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just covering the toner paper. It's kind of like cardstock weight with all my leftovers from the other foiling projects. And you can see that it just gives you really, really fun results. And basically what I'm going to do is, after foiling a bunch of things, I can add them, some of them, they're not all going to fit, to my December daily. And that's what I suggest doing. Probably if you're like me and you don't have like a designated foiling station in your craft room, that means I have to pull this machine out and clear my table and all that stuff. And so I'd rather just foil a bunch of stuff in one go and then have like a pile to work from. Yeah. Okay, now we're getting to the fun part. Now I'm going to try this paint. This is actually the first time I tried this paint, and the first thing I'm going to use is this polka dot that I had from another project, and I love it. Now, it kind of stuck to, it's kind of a sticky paint. So I don't know if it's because I was impatient and that's why it stuck, or it's just sticky in nature, but it did kind of stick a little bit, like the foil stuck to it a little bit, but not in a way that was, it didn't disturb me at all. And you'll see, I'm just like playing with it. I just added basically a flat layer of paint around the image, and now I'm doing the same thing that I did basically with the toner sheets, and I'm just using first some patterns that I had left on the foil from previous projects, and then just covering the rest with that sheet of white foil. Now what I'm trying to do is use this marker. Heidi Swapp came out with this marker that has black ink, I'm guessing kind of like toner ink in it. And I just drew something on my photo and it worked really well. Again, use a glossy surface. I think that's what works well with these type of mediums, because, the paint just sits on top. You can see now I'm adding these dots to this photo, and the only issue that I had, and I'm not sure how this happened, is that I got a lot of just sprinkling of the foil all over my photo. Even though I added the toner marker, only I made these dots, it kind of, you can see it's all over the photo. So I'm not sure what I did wrong. Maybe it got caught in some overspray from my spraying session. But I got kind of speckles of foil all over our faces in that photo, which is not ideal. So yeah, those were my adventures with foil. It was a lot of fun. I was really, really happy with the majority of the results. I like that messy look, and I hope I'll see you in a future video. I don't know if it'll be the next one or the one after that, where I'm adding all these pieces to my December daily. So I hope you feel inspired to try some, and I'll see you in another video soon. Have a lovely day. Bye.